To Mary, he said, "Woman, this is your son." And to the beloved disciple, "This is your mother." My dear brothers and sisters, today we honor a most beautiful disciple of Christ, our dear mother and sister, the Lady of the Place, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. More than 800 years ago, a group of people of different backgrounds, from military men fighting to protect and gain back the Holy Land from those they consider as the enemy of the faith, because at that time there was no concept of respecting other faiths and realizing the presence of God in these faith traditions. But their desire was pure. There were also those who wanted to radically follow Christ. The pilgrims who wanted to experience the places where Jesus lived, breathed, ate, cried, walked, and so many others. Many of them settled in the caves of Mount Carmel, living as hermits. Eventually, they decided to come together and support each other, since they have the same goal anyway: to live the life Jesus lived. It may have seemed to be an easy life, basically doing nothing except to pray and fend for themselves, coming together to pray, then off to their caves to again be in the presence of God in their cells. But then they had to live this albeit comfortable life and return to the city where the real mission is. There were, of course, many who complained, wanting that contemplative life that is detached from the worries of the world. But honestly, all of us as followers of Christ are called to mission. We are called to go out into the world and to proclaim the good news. And that was the challenge. These hermits, who have become people of the mountain, have decided to live in the city. They were afraid. And there were many who opposed them, many who persecuted them because they were different. And they did not take them seriously because they dressed weird. They were wearing striped robes, which was not usual for friars at the time. So Saint Simon Stock prayed earnestly for the intercession of the Blessed Mother that they would be able to overcome the persecutions. And that is why the Blessed Mother appeared to him and gave him her mantle to signify their belongingness to Mary. This appearance of Mary was a reminder that we have been entrusted by Jesus to his mother. If only we would stand by the foot of the cross to be with Jesus, not just in good times, but most especially in those times when he suffered, in those times that he is persecuted, in those times that he is rejected. And we see these instances almost every day in God's Anawim, in our poor brothers and sisters who continue to suffer, who continue to be persecuted, who continue to be rejected. Where are we? We have been entrusted to Mary, but Mary too has been entrusted to us. And this means that we should love her just as much as Christ loved her. That we should care for her, that we should give her respect, that we should listen to her. When Mary was entrusted to us, we have been given a perfect disciple to emulate, to follow. Christ. How did she follow Christ? All her life was about bringing and revealing Christ to the world. And that too is our challenge. How could we bring and reveal Christ to those, most especially, who need to feel and to experience the presence of Christ in their lives. Brothers and sisters, as we continue in our celebration, honoring our dear mother and sister to whom we have been entrusted and who has been entrusted to us, let us remember that out of their deep love for Christ, our dear mother and the beloved disciple stood by the foot of the cross. Their presence, a source of consolation, strength, and courage, not just for Jesus who was in the brink of death, but for each other as they faced the coming loss of someone who was very dear to them. And as we continue to celebrate the Eucharist, let us stand in front of our dear and beloved Jesus, remembering that His passion, death, and resurrection is the very manifestation of God's love for us. How then can we share this message of love to all those wanting of God's loving presence? Amen. Let us all stand.